Cannot.
You know, he's got a point. Welcome,
Always
friends and
tits.
folks, to no tits today, actually. Anyway, welcome to AlphaWit Thursdays. I
Fuck.
am sorry, I just don't think there's any nudity in this game, and my shirt is staying on, as per Twitch's terms of service. I am Wit. He is Alpha, and we are joined once again by the lovely and talented Admiral Cordelia. Please say hello.
No.
Okay, that's honestly, it's all I needed. We are continuing the game Tales from Off-Peak City Volume 1. And
AKA Crimes Against Pizza Volume 1.
well, you know, listen, there's not a ton of gameplay in this, and I gotta keep myself in it somehow. And
I
I'm
think we
gonna
peaked at the gray matter.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree. There she
Also,
is.
whenever it conveniences you, could you show us?
It is now up and here.
Ah, yes, thank you.
Can you see and hear?
Yeah, I just gotta configure my own thing now.
And the next thing I need to do is pop out the Admiral's chat.
So we are back in our pizza place. Excuse me. Such as it is.
I mean, I do like pizza.
Tab for inventory. We have a pizza to deliver. Oh, that's right. With a single fish egg on it.
What the fuck kind of pizza is this?
I can't remember what the order was, but I'm sure it made sense to me at the time. Anyway, we're going to 9 July. And I can do that. 9 July is this guy over here, and it was like a really active spot on that map of Horizon. Oh, I don't wanna. I don't like that at all.
That's not the screen. Let me flip around.
Oh, hello.
It seems to be leaking the mysterious energy drink from its
crying.
eyes. Cool.
And what's with the target?
I believe that is where they would like me to place the pizza. Okay. So I'm gonna do that. Are you gonna roast me for my pizza choices? Evidently not. Achievement Building 9 is fed. Oh!
Hold like 1 minute, because I'm trying to get my own OBS stop being a piece of shit.
Okay, well, the building seems happier now. And it has given me $40 for my troubles.
What?
What do you mean, what?
$40. And a smile. For that.
Yeah, I fulfilled the order.
It was a fucking crust!
It had a single fish egg on it.
Where was the sauce? Where was the cheese? Where was fucking anything? And you got paid for it.
Has that train car always been there?
Years since I was having to deal with OBS's bullshit, she served them a pizza crust with a single fish egg on it. Because...
And the building loved it. And now it's smiling and it's not crying anymore. Has this train car always been here? I guess I've never walked up the other part of the street.
I don't know. I have no answers here. I have none.
I'm already, yeah.
We have collected every pizza topping. What we had been missing was...
What we've been missing was all this pussy at 32A.
Look at all these chickens. You're very short.
They are very short.
What could this have?
Oh boy. One man's trash.
If my landlord was stealing my trash, I would be concerned.
You're not gonna shame a trash fetish, are you?
I might. I might.
Yeah. This area is not consensual.
I mean, pizza's good. But is it stay in this place good?
Fresh mozz on the menu. Provided they fucking give it to you.
It's true. Why would you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, snap! She's Big Mo's daughter?
Big Mo's got a daughter?
What's her name? The girl.
Mickey Snow.
I mean, I think we've all fucked trash before.
Building 9 is ahead.
Yeah, she get head at building 9.
Okay, so one's extremely short, the other has way too long limbs.
Mm-hmm. And very thin ones. Also,
Alright, so
Because of that basketball.
I'm honestly, that's like not even bothering me. I think it goes in that hoop, if I'm not mistaken.
that's quite a shot.
Hey,
Alright,
dude,
so
you good?
No, probably not.
Well, good luck with that. Alright, there was something we were saving up money for. And I truly don't recall what it was.
it might have been something in the pawn
Sandy
shop.
pills?
Check the pawn shop.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Pawn.
There should not be that many stars in the sky in the middle of the city.
Hey, Beast, how much detail you want to go into about that piece of trash you fucked?
Oh,
Hey, we need something to kill the time while we're shopping.
Oh, we needed this. Because,
Okay, good enough.
of the secret room.
Welcome to bankruptcy.
Yeah, there's somewhere we need to get into.
I don't know, maybe there'll be another like $500 in there like there was in the last part of the secret room.
It's a reasonable,
You're expecting consistency and things to make sense in the middle of this game.
You bring up a valid point.
I don't expect anything, I just want the cash. What the fuck?
It's Maxine, that's her name.
Oh, that's right.
Apparently that's Big Mo's daughter.
Right, yeah.
Huh. Prepared? Yeah, great question. You tell him, kid.
You have the class tomorrow.
Huh. Mm. Ah, yeah, get him. Hi.
Hi, drama.
Hello. Uh-oh. Emotional brainwave response statistics. Emotional brainwave. Okay. Sure. Are those the bandmates?
What are you two fuckers doing over here?
What a fucking ride we're on.
Oh, the train station.
That's what we're asking.
It doesn't really look like him, but then again, it's been a minute. I like that sweatshirt. Actually, I like their whole outfit.
First game?
Hmm.
We're the same protagonist from the other game.
I don't think we ever saw the protagonist.
I think the guy that ran the space station that game was Francis, actually.
Huh.
You really try to arrest us, and then we just did a cow skull and left.
Something like that. We got rescued by the mysterious lady.
Yeah, who like just yeeted a cow skull at us.
Yeah, tell him. Yes, sign a contract. This actually just happened to a friend of mine. He was interviewing for a job and started reading in the contract about like how they were going to install tracking software on his phone. And when he brought that up to the person who was interviewing him, they're like, "Well, you know, they wouldn't do that. Like, you know, they wouldn't. And I don't have one." And he's like, "Well, I'm not interviewing for your job. I'm interviewing for a different job." And like she started like chastising him for like continuing to ask questions.
I mean, obviously, that's no stability.
Why does everyone know about this? Okay, this is like most of that conversation again.
Yeah, it's just starting to repeat again.
go in here.
Past the eyeballs.
Yeah, we've done.
Time to get horny.
Oh no,
my.
more baby tubes.
What is that?
That's
What?
I think that's Caetano.
Yeah.
My, oh my.
Oh, he was dying. And his
I think he's been
family.
dead before this, and we were dealing with a robot.
Yes. Certified death of Caetano Grosso. Well.
So, dead. No obituary.
Okay. Gimme.
There's something to be grabbed.
It's the thing.
Good thing. Uh-oh.
How do you...
Hey, Mo. How is it?
If you notice, there's another cowskull there, and that horn can be re-grabbed again, so...
There's another horn.
Yeah, I just don't know if we're...
You're gonna have
Oh,
to.
the guy on his day off! Uh-huh. Okay. Oh.
This is so fucking weird.
Yeah. God, the proportions on this man. Yeah, 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
Before you, wipe my memory forever, or whatever.
Or use a robot.
Yes!
Robot. Oh, down the strip of full power.
I was fairly certain this was some sort of laser. But
So was I.
that door locked behind us. This is great. I just need one of these. We do this. I do that.
Twist them both at the same time and listen to it screech.
Oh, wow, this picture suddenly makes a lot more sense.
Wow!
It's the saxophone.
What was that sound and why don't... Oh, I'm
I
not...
think the bolt closed.
We
Not
got
gonna-
locked in, didn't we?
Yeah, not in control of this. Hi, guys.
Oh, that was spooky.
Oh, now I'm back in control? Oh, no thank you.
Yeah.
No thank you. Oh, no, no. The baby man.
It's the bad baby.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Thanks.
Thank you, sunglasses baby.
this the rail station again?
I don't know.
That'd be a perfect staircase to grab a mattress and just lie down.
There's no jump button, right?
No jump button.
No. Is this it? Are those credits?
I think so.
That went quickly.
Hi,
So
guys.
all that's left is what, 2?
He's still doing the neck thing. Oh, now
Yeah.
were his eyebrows always doing that?
I don't
I
think
don't know.
so. But yeah,
Yeah?
Why?
Yeah, why with the saxophone?
Get on the fucking train, CJ. Can we eat a pizza?
Well,
No.
we've done it. But
yeah,
at
with
what
an hour
cost?
40 to spare.
I'm sure I've got something. Huh. Well. Huh.
Well, indeed.
That was fast.
Yeah, I had no idea how much more there was to it. Sorry, I'm still taking in that. I'm taking that in.
You're absorbing that like oil absorbs into water.
A little bit better than that. Did I? We've missed a bunch of achievements.
Do we really want to go through that shit again?
Absolutely not. But
Okay. I'll read them out. Let's hear them.
I think it was listening to more conversations.
Oh fuck no.
And a bunch of things about the camera. Yeah, it was like
we never did
definitely
anything with the camera.
learning about more of the people, of like different conversations and talking to people. Huh.
Yeah.
You're free to go if you wish. I can't keep you here. You should eat. What else do I have that's good to look at? I have a visual novel that's kind of a dating sim called A Little Lily Princess. It's Kuro's.
Have we not?
yeah.
We haven't learned our lesson then.
From what? About what?
Visual novels. You remember the last time we endeavored on a visual novel and the horrors it brought?
This was
DDLC, or not DDLC? Yeah, DDLC.
Yeah, well, that's its own fucking thing. This is not that. They're not all
Promise.
like that. Yes, I would argue that almost none of them are like that. I have an extremely boring one, but it's so beautiful to look at. And then I have this one that's really cartoony, but things might happen in it. What do you think?
All right, I'm trusting you. Let's do this.
Doesn't sound like you trust me.
I trust you as much as I trust anybody else in this situation.
Are you
One
really
where
against visual novels? It's just the only thing I can think of. I mean, hell, I've got the
No,
second Zero Escape game, but I just don't think we're ready.
no,
Sorry, I'm scratching my foot. That's why I keep leaning towards the camera.
I just don't want to be traumatized again. And
Nobody,
if this will not,
absolutely nobody is going to die in this, or certainly not in front of us.
okay.
It's
Well,
just
let's have at it.
which of the anime girls you decide to gay date.
Okay, cool.
Let me update Twitch, because they like it when you do that. They don't like it when you...
What I'm gonna do here.
Yeah, you should go, dude. This is going to be distressingly normal, and you don't need that kind of energy in your life.
So it's more like distressingly normal for my viewers.
Yeah, you're fairly normal. You don't need normal. You can produce normal just
I
fine.
literally laughed like a maniac Tuesday when I started punching a bunch of NPCs in the Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but what's not to laugh about when you're doing that?
To be fair, everyone in Far Cry 5 needs to be bullied the fucking shit.
I've never... Yes, they do. I've never played 5. I have Primal, and I was enjoying that. But it kind of runs out of steam once you collect all the animals. Oh, okay. Okay, they do have the game on Twitch. I was gonna say, have we finally discovered something not on Twitch? But no.
Oh, you
Twitch...
don't have this?
No, I do. I have it downloaded. I thought we would do it another time. I was updating the Twitch header.
Okay.
And it didn't pop up right away, so I thought we had finally found something that Twitch didn't have auto-filled in. Game capture.
Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and close down early for the night.
You should.
Yeah,
Treat yourself.
Thanks for coming.
Yes, thank you for lending us your... I don't know what. Lending us your reactions?
Energy.
Yeah, energy. That's a good one.
Lending you witnesses for the pizza crimes?
Yeah.
Got you.
Alright.
Alright then. Good night.
Good night.
Alright, I believe we have the game here. And I will share it with you. This is probably not going to be very funny.
What I was saying before was there was just something about EDLC that just sat with me the wrong way. If that's the only visual novel that's ever going to be like that, then
What part of it did you not like? The trauma?
I don't know, something about the direction of Monica's development. And I can't quite explain it.
That she knew she was in a game and went mad because of it?
Yeah, something like that. I think that's about where I first became aware of the fact that I'm like, hey, I think I finally found something that ain't with me here.
You didn't like watching someone be that desperately mentally ill?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not great.
It was spring.
Oh, you're gonna do it? I'll do more characters then.
Well, I mean, if this is Anime Girls, then I need something to read.
That's fair.
It was spring when Sarah's school life began, but spring in London was nothing like any spring she had known before. The morning sun was not enough to lift the chill from the stony streets, and the mist off the river blended with the smoke of countless chimneys to form a thick yellow fog.
Gross.
Oh boy. In such weather, the gas lamps burned night and day, flickering like stars to guide the horse-drawn ships to their destinations. But the ship that had carried her across the ocean was now a thing of the past. Here, then, was Sarah's new home. It was a big, dull brick house, exactly like all the others in its row, except that on the front door there shone a brass plate which was engraved in black letters, Miss Minchin's Select Seminary for Young Ladies.
literally seminary as in learning about God, or is that just another word for a school, do you think?
Only one way to find out, I suppose.
Okay, there's two ways to find out. We keep playing or we go to Google, but I will keep playing. Girls, gather round, if you please.
Now, we can't be metagaming.
Come, hurry up. We have a new pupil who will be joining us starting today. Her name is Sarah Crew, and she's only recently arrived in England, so you must all make her feel welcome. How do you do?
The room filled with a chorus of gently murmured greetings.
Does this girl have pupils?
I
Oh, they're so small.
barely see them.
They're so small.
I
So
barely
you
see them, and I've got this on my big screen.
So under the highlight of like the eye, right at the
Yeah.
top of that lighter part is such a small black dot.
I see it.
Yeah, that's no good.
No. Sarah Crew, for that was her name.
Oh,
The
this is
wording
the
in that.
protagonist? Heavens.
Sarah Crew, for that was her name, looked out upon a garden of strangers. Every face was turned to her. Polite. Why do I find this funny?
It's
Polite
a very
and attentive and perfectly foreign.
It's a very British like turn of the century style of writing.
Why the fuck is this funny?
It's like cheeky. I've read an author that I really like. His name is Anthony Trollope, and he was writing at like the mid to late 1800s, and he kind of writes like this, of just like kind of tongue-in-cheek, not taking itself seriously.
I guess I don't read that enough. She felt more lost than she had ever been at sea.
Sarah, dear, as you can see, we have pupils here of all levels, but these three particularly near your age. This is Miss Lavinia Herbert. Charmed. Miss Ermengarde St. John.
Ermengarde.
And Miss Jessie Abbott. We're very pleased to meet you. I'm very pleased to meet you as well. I have never known very many girls near my age.
Oh, well, you're gonna know
Nor
them soon
any
enough.
other age.
Sarah's life before that point had been not isolated, but sheltered. Her mother had died when she was born, leaving Sarah to be raised by the young, handsome father, who was the only relation she had ever known. Some fathers had little time for their children, but Sarah and her papa had always been quite close, reading books and playing games together every day. So what changed?
That's a lot of past tense, eh?
He treated her as a little confidant, sharing his thoughts with her as if she were his peer and not a very young girl, and listened solemnly to the advice she gave in return, though he didn't always follow it. Sarah had never felt lonely, but it must be said that she had very little experience in making new friends.
This is probably fine. Sarah's father, Captain Crew, makes his home in India, and he is returning there as we speak. I shall expect you all to be very agreeable to her. Now, Sarah, take your seat. Your father has informed me how very much you enjoy your studies, and I expect you to be credit to this establishment. I am not certain how to become a credit, but I do wish to learn.
This statement was met with muffled giggles. Confused, Sarah looked back at Miss Minchin for guidance.
Take your seat, I said. But which seat is mine?
Concerned that she would look disobedient if she hesitated further, she slid into the nearest empty place. No one objected, and she let out a sigh of relief. Nearby, two girls turned to whisper to each other.
What a way she has of speaking, so old-fashioned. Hush! Her eyes are such a queer color. A funny-looking child, to be sure. Well, she isn't as pretty as some people are, but there's something about her. She makes you want to look at her again, to see what it is. And she has tremendously long eyelashes. Only you would notice such a thing. Girls! Kindly pay attention to your lessons. Yes, Miss Minchin? Ah, yeah, gameplay. Choose an activity for Sarah to perform each day. Each activity has 3 possible outcomes, which will change the icons you receive. At the end of the week, Sarah's icons will be collected and turned into resources. Knowledge, artistry,
Knowledge.
patience, sympathy, grace, belief, vigor. Icons are only converted at the end of the week. Until then, they can be changed or lost by other activities. Plan the order of your activities in order to get the best results for the week. One activity each day.
So it looks to me as though something is going to be left out in the cold on any given week,
Indeed.
if not more than one something.
1, 2, 3, 4. Ah!
Well,
Hmm. Good news. None of them go down.
well, that's good. I feel like we would do well to go with the most straight gain early on.
Okay.
So, read a book. There's the possibility of gaining 3 knowledge. The Tea Party gives us 3. What's the heart again?
Sympathy?
So the Tea Party could gain us 3 sympathy. What else? What else can give us a gain of 3 or more?
Nothing. Well,
Oh,
okay,
right.
this could be nothing of 3 of the same.
No, but I'll take 4 points combined. So Write in Diary has the possibility of 2
belief and 2 sympathy. Practice
Okay.
dance has 2 artistry and 2 grace.
All right. And 4 distinctly different ones under Play with Toys, was it?
Play with toys is 4 distinct, and go for a walk is how good you are at vigor, I guess.
Gain artistry equal to vigor. While vigor is low, that's not worth it to us, so go for a
Indeed.
walk should not be an early option. So that would leave Play with Toys for Friday.
All right.
Unless we decide to double up on something.
No, I think this is a good way to get our feet wet.
All right.
Now
It'll
the
give us
schedule.
practice on. Yes, go ahead.
Now the schedule that you have set will be carried out. For each weekday, Sarah will point to the randomly chosen results, and those icons will appear at the right side of the screen. You do not have to click to advance between days, it will happen automatically. You can adjust the speed of activities from the Preferences menu. Remember, icons are only converted to resources at the end of the week. A result of double all knowledge will double your current knowledge icons, but not your long-term knowledge resources. Okay.
So timing is potentially important.
Yes.
For the order of events.
So for reading, we didn't get the 3. For visiting, we got vigor and whatever. We've gained patience. We're doubling the one we've got, so I guess another. That would have been cool. So, we got a +1 knowledge, +1 artistry, +3 vigor, +2 patience, +1 belief. My room. My 2 rooms, just for me.
Sarah was what was known as a parlor boarder. Where other girls were quartered in standard issue single rooms, she had a large bedroom, uniquely decorated, and a separate sitting room with a comfortable sofa.
I wonder why. Rich, I guess? My papa has filled them with beautiful things. notebooks, velvet cushions, lace dresses, a porcelain tea set, hats with great feathers that bob on them, even a tiger rug to remind me of India. It looks like a room that would belong to the daughter of a Raja, an Indian princess. I only wish that this room also contained my papa.
Yeah, what's the...
It sounds like he's in the military and got deployed again, and she's of schooling age, so she should be schooled. Perhaps it does. He gave me all of these things, and whenever I touch them, I can imagine that he is with me. When I read his farewell letter, I can hear his voice.
My dear little missus, so here you are, in the place you always knew you must go. But be of good cheer. You will not have to stay for a very long time. There will be a lot of little girls, and you will play together, and I will send you plenty of books, and you will grow so fast that it will seem scarcely a year before you are big enough and clever enough to come back and take care of Papa. I am not in the least bit anxious about your education. You are always sitting with your little nose burrowing into books, gobbling them up as if you were a little wolf instead of a little girl. I have instructed Miss Minchin to drag you away from your books when you read too much, and make you go and ride your pony in the row or buy a new doll. You ought to play more with dolls.
Oh, Papa, if I bought a new doll every day, I should have too many to be able to make friends with them all. I am happiest with just Emily, and happier because I was with you when I met her.
Emily, of course, was the name of a doll, a very special doll that Sarah had discovered when her papa took her to visit the premier toy shops of London. She was a large doll, but not too large to carry about easily. She had naturally curling golden brown hair, which hung like a mantle about her, and her eyes were a deep, clear gray blue with soft, thick eyelashes, which were real eyelashes and not mere painted lines. At Sarah's insistence, she had been given a wardrobe every bit as grand as Sarah's own, with frocks and coats and nightgowns and beautiful lace-trimmed underthings. She even had her own tiny lady's handkerchief and her own cradle bed at the foot of Sarah's. Sarah lifted Emily up onto her lap and smiled at her, just as she would another little girl.
My papa is on the sea now, Emily. We must be very great friends to each other, intimate friends, and tell each other things. Look at me, Emily.
Why do I feel like this is the prelude to insanity?
This is balanced on a knife edge of things that are like, yeah, this is all fine, and things that are like, oh, okay.
Boy.
There's like a couple things that like pop out to me of like her dad treating her as an equal. Like, yes, respect children and their autonomy, but like, he better not be telling her like the stuff of like decisions that adults have to make, or like his military career. Like, she has to be allowed to be a kid.
Yeah, there's a line.
And like, it's just like a couple things of like, this is all probably okay. You have the nicest eyes I ever saw, but I wish you could speak.
She brushed Emily's hair fondly, settling her in pride of place.
There are so many girls in this school. I've never seen so many children in one place before. I'm afraid I shall not remember all of their names. I have always known that someday I would be required to go away and to leave my home and my papa and come to England to be educated. I must do my duty even if I do not like it. I dare say soldiers, even brave ones, don't really like going into battle, but they must do it anyway, and not cry and fuss. So must I. Oh, but no, it is so lonely.
She could not know, of course, how her quiet sorrow might be misinterpreted by others. Miss Minchin, the proprietor, had seen the lavish preparations for Sarah's pretty little room, and concluded that here was a child who had always been given her own way at the expense of others. Such a spoiled little girl might be expected to kick and scream and set the whole house into an uproar when abandoned by her only parent. That she did not suggested to Miss Minchin that Sarah cared nothing at all for her papa, but only for her dresses and toys, Such was not a thought that inspired sympathy in her heart for the newcomer. Just then, there came a sound at the door of Sarah's room. Sarah was not a girl easily given to fear or startlement, but she had a healthy share of curiosity and went at once to see what it was. Outside sat a little girl, right on her bottom in the middle of the hall, her baby plump legs splayed and the lace of her petticoats askew, as if she had just toppled over, which in fact she had.
Hello there. Who might you be? Lottie.
Her
I'm
words
sorry.
were hard to make out through the fingers she had shoved into her mouth.
Lottie?
The fingers were withdrawn and wiped dry among the frills of her skirt.
Lottie Lee.
Sarah smiled. Here then was a chance to meet just one person at a time instead of a crowd of strangers.
Well then, I am Sarah Crew, and now we are properly introduced.
She held out a hand and helped the little girl to her feet.
Was there something you wanted? May I look at your doll? Of course you may. Come and visit me in my room, and we can have tea together. My papa left... Sorry. Crow just yelled gay out from the other room. Hey, babe, come see how wrong you are. You're right, you can't, but this is like a very young child.
This ought to be incredibly interesting.
Like, very young. I'm not gonna have the babies can be gay discussion with you right now.
I was getting 5 years old. I was at the time. Looking back, I was a gay little kid.
Go take your shower. Emily has her own service as well, sighs for her hand, because she is too small to hold one of my cups. Alpha! These are kids. I don't know if I want to play this game.
The wording, though. It's terrible for this.
No, you are terrible for this. I want to see. Come inside then, and I will introduce you to Emily.
And that was Sarah's first week of classes at Miss Minchin's Select Seminary for Young Ladies.
On the weekends, you can spend the resources you have collected in order to unlock scenes with different characters. The requirements for each event will be listed in the box next to that character. If an event requires 5 belief, you must have at least 5 belief on the left-hand side of the screen in order to select Play Event. Playing that event will lower your current belief by 5. Oh, you really have to spend them. Some scenes will not be available until later in the story. Others can only be played earlier in the game. Pay attention to the requirements. It is best to focus your attention on only 2 or 3 characters in order to have time to play all of their scenes.
So it is decision time.
Well, we can only afford one.
Right,
Or
but
none.
but we can also plan out which direction we want to take next. So we can work on belief in order to get Lottie's next event.
Good.
Or we can build up 3 Grace this coming week to get Lavinia's as 2 suggestions.
I mean, we might as well. Going for 2 goals in a week is probably fairly reasonable.
All right, so let me write this down.
Belief and grace.
All right, so we need 5 belief. We've already got 1. No, 2. And 3 grace. We've got 1. Okay. So our only available event is with Jessie.
Ready?
Ready.
Hello, Sarah. May I come in to visit?
Sarah rose to her feet at once.
You are very welcome. Please, come inside.
Jessie stepped into the room, then held out her skirt to drop a delicate curtsy in greeting.
I know we have been introduced, but I wish to make your acquaintance more personally. and without Lavi listening in. Lavinia? I thought you and she were the best of friends. Of course we are. I adore her. She's so classic, so elegant and focused. I admire her very much. However, sometimes it is nicer to do things for oneself. Are those real silk stockings that you're wearing?
Sarah blinked, caught unawares by this change of topic.
Yes, I have several pairs. My papa took me to many shops while he was in London. They're darling. Mine are only lisle cotton. May I see the pattern?
Sarah sat down in her comfortable armchair, lifting the hem of her skirt slightly so that the floral embroidery over her ankle was visible.
Ankles. What little feet you have! I never saw such little feet. Are they small?
She raised her leg a bit, pointing her toes and moving her foot this way and that.
They seem the same size that they've always been, even though I know they must have been smaller when I was younger. I am sure that Lottie's feet are smaller than mine, and Emily's, of course, are the smallest of all. Emily? Emily is the doll that my papa bought me to be my companion.
Sarah stood up and lifted Emily into her arms for Jessie to admire.
Emily, this is Jessie Abbott, my new friend.
The older girl dropped a beautiful curtsy, then laughed.
Oh, she has silk stockings too! Stockings for such teeny tiny feet, how cute! But you do have small feet for your height, Sarah. I'm sure you do. Look at mine.
Jessie pressed her foot up alongside Sarah's for comparison.
I just don't know whether larger or smaller feet are better. For dancing, I mean. If you dance with a partner, small feet would be better to avoid being stepped on, and they look very stylish in slippers. Slippers are cuter if they are smaller. But larger feet might be better for holding positions and standing on your toes. Small feet might not be as strong. Your feet have a good shape, though. They arch well. They're very pretty. Can feet be pretty? Colonel Grange's little daughter Isabel in India was the prettiest girl I ever knew. All the gentlemen said she was the beauty of the regiment. She has dimples and round rose-colored cheeks, pale blue eyes, and long curling hair the color of gold. And everyone said those things were very pretty. No one ever spoke of her feet. I suppose if feet can be pretty, then perhaps I do have pretty feet. I know the rest of me is not. My hair is too black and straight and short, and I am too thin, my eyes are a strange color. You do not have the same kind of beauty that dolls are made of, but that doesn't mean that you aren't pretty. I think you are quite interesting to look at.
Sarah did not wish to contradict her new friend, who had no reason to lie, but her inner conviction that she was an ugly little girl could not be so easily dispelled.
Will you show me the rest of your dolls and clothes? Do all of your petticoats have so many lace frills? Do you think any of them would fit me? I don't know. I suppose we can find out. Aw, yeah.
Nice.
Me and your girlfriend playing dress up at my house. Sorry.
I
all
thought you
yours.
just said these were kids.
Yes, great point.
On Sunday morning, the students gathered in the entrance hall of Miss Minchin's Select Seminary. Boy, I fucked that up.
Girls, are you ready? Form up into a line behind Lavinia. Sarah, dear, it is our custom to walk to and from church every Sunday, when the weather permits. That allows the horses a day of rest and ensures the students receive regular exercise. It is important to look your best when we are walking out among the public. We want our school to always leave a good impression. You should follow Lavinia's cues, as she will show you what to do. Lavinia is always a model student.
As if hearing her name, Lavinia smiled and tilted her head.
You could learn a great deal from Lavinia, dear. As her father is also posted to India, the two of you should have much in common. I'm sure you will make close friends. Now, go and stand in line behind her.
Sarah made her way to the front of the line, where Jessie and Lavinia stood close together.
What are you doing? Go to the back! Miss Minchin told me to stand behind you. She said you were a model. Oh, very well then. But that's my place. You wouldn't want to disobey Miss Minchin, would you? No. We have to show our new girl how to behave herself in church. She may have never seen one before.
Sarah thought it wisest to remain silent. Can a girl that conceited know anything about friendship?
I don't know, maybe she's had like a tragic backstory or whatever. So we're going for belief and grace?
We need 3 belief and 2 grace by the time we are finished to complete both goals. How can we accomplish this?
Okay, well, if we get the best dance, we will get 2 grace. If we then go for a walk, we might get grace equal to vigor.
That would be very nice.
So that would be cool.
So we need to build up vigor before we do that.
We have a pretty dang good vigor.
I believe it goes by the icons we picked up during the week, not by the long term. We can experiment and find out for
You're
certain.
super correct. Practice dance twice, go for walk?
Let's see the 2 again. Practice dance. So 2 out of 3 says that we get at least 1 grace. Seems a reasonable lineup to me.
And the only belief is diary. So let's do it.
We'll need to. See what happens.
Well,
that gave us nothing.
Okay.
We got our good graces.
Vigor and patience. Another grace. And 1 belief. 1 knowledge, 3 artistry, 1 vigor, 1 patience, 3 grace, 1 belief.
We did not get the belief we needed.
No, but I think we've got time on that one.
A knock came at the door.
Sarah. Sarah, dear? Yes? Is there... Oh, hello.
Hello.
Bonjour, mademoiselle.
Miss Minchin hissed through her teeth, and the young woman in the maid's uniform fell silent.
Sarah, before he left, your father arranged for a maid to be employed especially for your needs. She has just arrived. I believe she is from France. Yes. Her name is Mariette, and she will be living in your rooms, helping you with your clothing in the morning and anything else you require. Please use her as your liaison with the staff. If you have need of food, send your maid rather than speaking to cook directly. And don't let her fool you. She does speak the Queen's tongue.
So somebody's got a little racist problem against the French.
Indeed.
She swept out of the room, leaving the maid and her new little mistress blinking at each other in confusion.
Bonjour, Mariette. Je m'appelle Sarah. Comment allez-vous? Ah, très bien, merci. And I am pleased to see that you're just as your papa described you. Oh, what did he say? That no other little girl is as solemn as you, and that you would make me smile. But why would being solemn make someone smile? Ah, it is your je ne sais quoi, it is you. Now why don't you show me around your rooms? So, we can afford Lavinia, and there's now one with Mariette if we want.
Oh, good touch. The red text indicates something we are not fulfilled yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we have... Yes, we have 2 choices. We have already had events. Well, we had 1 event with Jesse. Can't do anything about the in-betweens. So... So Mariette is a free event, so we can continue to gather up and not have to sacrifice Grace. But Grace did have a week 2 indicator. So that could mean one of two things. Either we can only play Lavinia's event this week, or week 2 is when the event opens up. The only way to find that out would be to play Mariette's event, save Lavinia's, and see if it's still there next week.
Would you like to do that?
For science.
Very well. Mariette, is it alright if I ask you a few questions about yourself? Bien sûr, mademoiselle. What do you wish to know? What is your family name? Miss Minchin did not say. Dumas, mademoiselle. Oh, are you a relative of the great French writer, the author of the Three Musketeers?
Mariette chuckled kindly.
No, mademoiselle. Well, not in a close way, I'm not. There are many with the name Dumas, and I cannot know the connections between all people. If I'm not... Nope, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that, because that's wild conjecture. Anyway, do you know all of your cousins, and your cousins' cousins, and all who bear the name of Crew? I don't know anyone else named Crew except for myself and my papa. So, you see, I cannot say who my relatives might be at some distance.
Sarah nodded. And for those of you who may not be aware, the author in question is Alexandre Dumas.
Where in France do you come from? I grew up in Limoges. You may have heard of the Limoges box, the porcelain?
Sarah shook her head.
Well, they were famous once. Perhaps they will be again. For now, like so much of Limoges, they have faded. What is it like there? What is it like anywhere? It is a city. Not so large as Paris or London, no. Is it near Paris? No, pas très proche. It is in the south. You must rely on the railways to travel between them. All trains lead to Paris.
That's some very impressive French accent.
It's okay. It's
It's better than mine.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Sarah tried to picture it. She did not know Limoges, but if it was in the south, then it must be warm and green, surely. She had seen paintings of France. Stone houses, arches, bridges, rolling green hills, hanging vines. And sunlight, always sunlight. Not the fogs of London.
It must be lovely. As you say, mademoiselle. How did you come to take this position? What I mean to say is, my papa and I did not have time to visit France, and I did not meet you until you came here. Did you meet my papa somewhere else? No, we have never met in flesh and blood. Your papa, he is a gentleman, and knows many other gentlemen in fine cities like Paris. When it happens he had wished to appoint a maid, he wrote to this Paris gentleman to describe you. Hi, Kuro. Yes, you're extremely sexy. I love you
Hello,
very
Kuro.
much. Kuro is sad that I've invested in a camera because it means she can't come give me kisses when she is just out of the shower. Perhaps if she puts on some clothes, we won't violate Twitch's terms of service, and you can
I was going
come
to say
give
I
me a
can
kiss.
think of only one problem there might be with that.
I don't want to get arrested. And I have a cousin who works for this Paris gentleman, and he thought of me, and so arrangements were made. And I am glad that they were.
Sarah smiled. The gentle warmth of Mariette's regard was very comforting for a little girl, one who had been separated from her family and made to live in a far-off place. Has she often dreamed of a far-off place? Anyway, it was true that Mariette was, for the most part, only another stranger, like any other in Miss Minchin's seminary. They were only just beginning to know each other. And yet Mariette was not simply a stranger who might come and go like the students. She was Sarah's maid, the beginnings of her very own household. She might, in time, be the closest thing to family.
I wonder about the friend my papa has in Paris. I wonder if he ever knew my mother. New week.
Alright, so I completely forgot to write down the stats that we want.
We need 2 more sympathy and some more belief.
Okay, so 2 sympathy.
We need 3 total.
Okay. And at this point, 2 belief
Sure.
are our current requirements. We accumulated the grace, so that's good. Okay, cool. Excellent. It was the beginning of another week of classes, and the students were seated neatly in rows in the schoolroom. Miss Minchin walked up and down between the desks, ensuring that each pupil's head was bowed to her particular lessons. She paused beside Sarah, a book in her hand.
Now, Sarah, as your papa has engaged a French maid for you, I conclude he wishes to make a special study of the French language. I think he engaged her because he thought I would like her, Miss Minchin. I am afraid you may have been something of a spoiled little girl, and as such you always imagine that things are done because you like them. It is a
It's-
fault in you, and one that we must endeavor to train away.
That's pretty unfounded.
Yeah. My impression, Sarah, is that your papa wished for you to learn French.
Now, there's a certain irony to what's being said here, and that irony can be summed up in the word projection. She's accusing Sarah of everything she wants being right, while the way she's speaking to her asserts the very same from her. Who's the real spoiled child here?
Well, technically she is an adult, but I see your point. I have never really learned to speak French, but that is quite enough. You have never learned, and so you must begin at once. The French master, Monsieur Jaffarge, will be here in a few minutes. Take this book and look at it until he arrives.
Dutifully, Sarah stared at the illustrated pages in front of her.
Le père, the father. La mère, the mother. You look rather cross, Sarah. I am sorry you do not like the idea of learning French. I am very fond of it, but you must not say but when you are told to do things. Miss Abbott, young ladies should not make a dreadful snickering noise like a horse. Yes, Miss Minchin. Sarah, look at your book again.
She said, but.
Yes, Miss. The fille, the son, le frère, the brother. Oh dear.
Frère Jacques.
Precisely.
Shortly after, Monsignor Defuc arrived in the classroom. The French master was an elderly gentleman with a neatly trimmed mustache and beard, and hair that flew outwards in dramatic points. Oh, let's see this. His eyes lit up when he caught sight of an unfamiliar little girl puzzling over a book of French phrases.
That's nothing! He's just an anime grandpa.
That is not at all what I was expecting to see.
Disappointed. 1 star.
All right, let's see what I can do here. Ah, is this a new pupil for me, madame?
Her papa, Captain Crew, is very anxious that she should begin the language, but I'm afraid she has a childish prejudice against it. She does not seem to wish to learn.
You have absolutely
Yeah,
no
this is
basis for that
such
statement.
crap.
I am very sorry to hear that, mademoiselle. No, that was. I'll work on it. Perhaps when we begin to study together, I may show you that it is a charming tongue. Little Sarah rose in her seat. She was beginning to feel rather desperate.
S'il vous plaît, monsieur, je ne peux pas le faire comprendre. She began to. Sorry.
She began to explain quite simply in pretty and fluent French. Madame had not understood. She had not learned French exactly, not out of books, but her papa and other people had always spoken it to her, and she had read it and written it as she had read and written English. Her papa loved it, and she loved it because he did. Her dear mama, who had died when she was born, had been French.
What on earth? What is she saying? Is this some form of joke?
Ah, madame, there is not much I can teach her. She has not learned French. She is French. Her accent is exquisite.
You ought to have told me.
You ought not have assumed,
Yeah,
bitch.
I tried. I suppose I did not begin right. Hee hee.
Miss Minchin slammed her hand upon her desk.
Silence, young ladies, silence at once.
And though the other students soon settled back into proper schoolroom behavior, Miss Minchin's lips remained tightly pressed together whenever she looked at Sarah.
The final boss.
You were wrong, bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, so our current goals list out at 2 sympathy and 2 belief. How can we best achieve this?
Tea party or diary?
Well, tea party, 3 sympathy would be real nice. And it's straight, so we can use that as an early event. Not a dependent like the double vigor or however. As
I'm
for
gonna
our belief,
throw in diary because it's good for belief. And also
Yeah.
maybe sympathy.
yeah, good idea.
And then I might just repeat those. And... I'm gonna do toys. Okay, that's 1.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
that locked it all in one shot.
Nice, 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 nice. Oh, we'll be so powerful! They'll never be able to stop us. Yes! Those stats, though. 3 artistry, 1 vigor, 2 grace, 7 sympathy, 5 belief.
That had the desired effect and then some.
We are dumb as a brick. Bow, 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 bow.
And we have the patience of a trigger
Of the same
gunman.
brick.
If the French language fell naturally from Sarah's lips, there were other lips from which it seemed it could not escape at all, no matter how long the owner stared at her workbook.
Le père, the father. La mère, the mother.
To Ermagerd! It had seemed almost unbelievable that a girl of her own age could string together so many words of French as if they were mere trifles. Dismayed at her own failings, she was devoting more effort than usual to the trial of understanding her lessons. Her elbows rested on the desk, her hands under her chin, as she repeated the broken syllables under her breath. She stared so hard and bit the ribbon on her pigtail so fast that she attracted the attention of Miss Minchin, who, feeling extremely cross at the moment, immediately pounced upon her.
Miss St. John, what is the meaning of such conduct? What? Remove your elbows! Take your ribbon out of your mouth. Sit up at once. Yes, Miss Minchin.
Matters did not improve for Miss St. John when the French master himself arrived.
Good bread. Le bon pain?
Kindly though he was, Monsieur Dufarge could not help but smile at her pronunciation. That is not quite correct. Écoutez bien. Les bons pains.
That was really good, Alpha. Le bon pain? Girls, conduct yourselves.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
It isn't funny, really. They ought not to laugh. Poor thing.
It was a way of hers always to want to spring into any fray in which someone was made uncomfortable or unhappy. However, there was no way for any hero to defend or rescue Ermengarde from the horrors of education. At least, not until the lesson period had concluded.
Oh, the world
And
is our oyster!
we are fully equipped for any event we choose to take. And it looks like week 2 was only an opening point. So, we have, I wish they would keep tally of this, but we have an event with Jesse and an event with Mariette. Now, the advice at the opening was that we stick to 2 or 3 characters throughout in order to catch all of the events for any one character. That being said, we could step out into one more.
Well, I don't give a shit about little kids. So Lottie doesn't interest me at all.
Okay.
I might be a sucker for redheads.
Yeah, we already started down Jesse, so we could stick specifically with her if you want to fly for that.
Oh man, we would be able to do Jesse and Mariette without needing to earn any more belief.
Mm-hmm.
That rules.
Are they your 2 preferences here?
I guess.
Well, I will let you choose.
Let's go with Jesse.
That afternoon, Jesse came to Sarah's rooms for tea. The tea itself, though, seemed to hold little interest for her.
I was hoping you could tell me more about your life in India. It all sounds very interesting and different to me. I am only learning the ways that it is different by being here. My papa and I lived in a bungalow that was as large as this school, but wide rather than tall. There was a veranda where we could sit and watch the breeze and the sunset. The summers are so hot that many children of British parents become ill, so we are taken away to the hill stations, which are towns in the mountains near lakes where it is cooler. I had many toys and pets and servants that would salam to me and call me Miss Sahib. I suppose it is because we are rich, but it is all the life that I knew. Did you ride elephants and camelopards and tigers? I have never seen the camel leopard. There are elephants in India, of course, but they are mostly used to carry heavy equipment or for rajas to ride in parade. I have seen them, but I have never ridden one. And tigers are too dangerous to see up close. Anyone who tried to ride one would be clawed and eaten. They attack villages sometimes and carry off the native children, you know. It's terrible. One even attacked the outpost my papa was stationed at, and he had to shoot it to defend the citizens. How exciting! He is very brave.
That's the word for it?
Exciting is the word you were questioning, or brave?
I'm questioning exciting.
Yeah, well, privilege will do that to you. I miss him so. I hope he does not do anything too brave while I'm not there to look after him. Was it very frightening, traveling so far? No, there were many other people on the ship with us. It was strange and not so comfortable as this room, but it did not feel dangerous. It would have been much harder if my papa were not with me. When young boys are sent back to England, they are sometimes made to travel with the regiments and no family at all. A pleasant companion makes a great deal of difference. You should always have one.
Jessie pressed her hands together in her lap, the motion giving a shy lift to her shoulders.
I would like very much to travel the world when I am older, but I don't know if I will ever have the chance. Do you think you will travel, Sarah? Well, I do want to return to India as soon as I am old enough, and I think I should like to visit France someday. I haven't thought of it beyond that. It is a very big world. I suppose it would be a shame to live one's entire life in only a small part of it.
Some of us would beg to differ, but that's another story. Jessie gently swirled the liquid inside her teacup, her eyes locked on the little ripples and waves.
Some people feel that London is the center of the world, and that once you're here, there's nowhere better in all the world for you to go. Why would you want more than perfection? I'm sure London is very nice, but...
The cup trembled in Jessie's hands.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've spilled a bit of tea. How silly of me. Please, tell me more stories about India. All right.
Heavy, somewhat irrational nationalist pride, perhaps?
Whose?
Sarah. Or not Sarah, Jesse.
No, I think she's parroting something that she's been told, like as a kid, if she's like expressing that she wants to travel, and people are like, "Why would you ever want to travel? You live in London." That's
Well,
the
no, I
impression I
mean,
got.
I'm wondering what was behind the trembling with the cup. Like, did something make her anxious?
Oh, I don't
And it
know.
was right around the time that Sarah was saying something other than London is the prettiest city in the world.
Well,
I mean, it may be nothing, but that's what
it may
I'm
be. The other
thinking
thing is she
about.
could have misinterpreted it as like Sarah really does like London and doesn't agree with her that traveling is cool, and she's unhappy that she thinks that Sarah doesn't agree with her. Could have been a misinterpretation.
Indeed. That word was mentioned before.
Did you see that darling little blue and yellow bird on the way back from church? It was only a blue tit. They're hopelessly common. I hadn't seen one before. They're country birds. They like trees. You don't see them so much in London. There must be many more birds in the country. Are there birds in England that are blue all over? I don't think so. Are there blue birds in India? Well, there are some birds with bright blue feathers, but not all over. And some that are blue all over, but only a bit blue. I thought that perhaps in England I might find the bluebird of happiness. What is that? I shall tell you. All of you, come up to my room and we shall have tea delivered. You shouldn't give orders to cook. It's not proper for a young lady to go into the kitchens. Oh, I won't go. My maid Mariette will fetch the tea for us. You have your own personal maid to bring you tea? Yes, my father arranged for her to come from France. Come and say hello.
Do I detect the beginnings of jealousy?
Or something.
Sarah and her entourage were greeted at the door.
Oh my, so many visitors. If it's all right, would you please bring tea for my guests, Mariette? Oui, mademoiselle.
Mariette went at once to the kitchens to carry out her little mistress' orders. The head cook of Miss Minchin's secret
I
select
can't tell if
seminary.
this is a bit. Are you doing a bit?
No, I think I've driven myself into an unfortunate habit.
That's very funny.
The head cook of Miss Minchin's select seminary looked up at Mariette's approach, her face as pinched as her dough.
Here, now, what's this then? Afternoon tea for 4? Oh, is that all? I expect she's wanting fresh cakes, too. Never mind, we haven't made. No, there are biscuits already. Never seen that stop one of those girls from wanting more, quick as you please. It is perhaps so with some, but not with my mistress. Elle a l'air d'une princesse, c'est petite. She thanks me for my work, just as if she were thanking a grand lady. Giving
Have you
herself
studied-
airs, you mean?
Have you studied French?
Me? Yeah, in middle school.
Nice.
As you wish it. Still, I am very pleased with my place. Now, the tea?
Also,
Oh,
for anybody out there who
we're so
enjoyed the
dumb.
mention of the blue tit,
Yeah, that is how we opened tonight, actually. Is talking about
yes,
that.
but tits are not the only fascinating birds out there.
I know what you're
There
gonna
are
say.
also
Uh-huh.
robins.
I know
Cardinals,
that
too.
you can't see my face cam, but I think you can feel in your soul my expression.
What, the sheer disappointment of the fact that I knew precisely what you thought I was going to say, and I didn't because of that?
There is anger, and I think it's divided evenly between the two of us. You for doing the thing that you did, and me for not seeing it coming, even though I know you as well as I do.
Gotta keep you surprised somehow.
Yeah.
So, I do not know. Well, you know what? I probably shouldn't care. But I was thinking more the stats we just paid out to have the event with Jesse. Did that require us getting more for somebody else to be available?
I don't know what Jesse's next one was going to be, but any of the ones that are still there, I believe we can do with the stats we have. I still think we should build up knowledge and patience.
Oh, absolutely.
But everything else we're actually already pre-qualified for.
Yeah, I mean we're not gonna know Jesse's until we get there. That's just nature of the beast. All right, so knowledge, reading a book, obviously, is our best go there. Patience is symbolized by the clock, I believe.
Diary has a chance. Walk has a chance. Dance has a chance.
2 diaries, a dance, and what was the third one?
Walk.
Walk, and 1 walk. And I say 2 diaries because that's 2 opportunities to spike twice for patience. Since these are all straight stats and not double or half or whatever, the timing is meaningless.
Time is meaningless. Let's do it. 3 knowledge! Yes! Pew, 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 pew!
Miss.
Ah.
Can we overflow on a stat, I wonder?
Only got 1. I am a spoiled child.
Artistry was at 8, I believe. So we still do not know what happens with overflow. I would guess we just can't get higher than 10.
That is also my guess. They wouldn't bother having a bar. Right this way, dear Sarah. Lady Pitkin will be absolutely charmed to meet you. Yes, Miss Minchin? Where is she taking Sarah? Miss Minchin is showing her off to another visiting parent. Or maybe a donor, I'm sure I wouldn't know. God, my voices for them change literally every time they're on screen.
That's
Christ.
the danger of voicing so many in one shot.
Dear Sarah must come into the drawing room and talk to Mrs. Musgrave about India. Dear Sarah must speak French to Lady Pitkin. Her accent is so perfect. She didn't learn French at this seminary, that's for certain. And there's nothing so clever in her knowing it. She says herself she didn't learn it at all. She just picked it up because she always heard her papa speak it.
Jealousy.
It's simply disgusting the way Miss Minchin trots her out like an ornament. I can't imagine being so good at anything that Miss Minchin should want to show me off, especially French. Sarah is always imagining. She will no doubt grow up to be eccentric. There is one thing about her, though. She's never grand about herself the least bit, even though she easily might be. I believe I couldn't help being proud, just a little, if I had so many fine things and was made such a fuss over. A little? If Miss Minchin brought you into Kersey for a mayor's wife, you would purr, just like Tybalt. Oh, Lavy, don't be silly. Being a cat might even be nicer than being able to speak French. And every bit as likely for you.
She meant that as an insult, I'm sure, but that's not an insult.
What, that it's every bit as likely that she could be a cat as speak French?
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to be a cat?
Right. That was not the point of the statement. Anyway, there's no use waiting here for Sarah. She'll be at tea for hours, I'm sure. We may as well go on our way.
The way we're listening to these girls gossip makes me think of the Belle song that opened Beauty and the Beast.
Look, there she goes. It's her.
However that
girl
goes.
is strange but special. Hi, bye.
But behind that fair facade, I'm afraid she's rather
odd. I used to know it all because my high school did that as a musical, and I was on Spotlight, so I saw the whole show like 15 times, and it took solid years before I had forgotten every word of it.
Yeah, tech operations would have been fun, but I was always in the pit, so.
I wanted to be in the pit. There's such a fucking bomb-ass flute part for Beauty and the Beast, and nobody ever asked me. They almost never used students. And when they did, it was not me.
That's kind of dumb.
Well,
to
okay, so
not
keep
give
in mind
students
that a lot of
opportunity.
pit books for woodwinds require doubling, and none of us did.
I mean, I guess. Alright, so, Jesse, we don't have the knowledge to continue pursuing. There was no way we could have known that.
One
I
moment,
would
please. I'm
recommend-
planning my weekend. Keep vamping or deciding what you want to do.
Well, I mean, I would, given our present course of action, I would recommend Mariette. Because,
Yeah, we still even haven't discovered the sixth person.
yeah, you said you don't have any interest in Lottie. And to pursue either Ermengarde or Lavinia. No, you know what? Lavinia would be safe because we'd still have the 5 grace necessary for Jesse. But to, you know what? As I'm mathing out these stats in my head, fuck it, pick anybody you like.
Riss, will you Google Maps how long it is to Tuxedo Park, New York? Marriott, I guess. I like the French accent.
Careful about giving out time proximities with a microphone on.
Okay, so they'll know that we're probably not east of Tuxedo Park, New York, because that would be the ocean.
I mean, if you're, I'm just throwing a caution. Do whatever you like. That's all.
Come and see, come and see. Mademoiselle, you do not need to target me. It is a promise. I will follow.
Her hand still held in Sarah's, Mariette stepped into the classroom.
I'm very sorry. I was too excited. That is quite alright, then. Now, what was it you wished to show me? Well, as it happens, it is more what I wished for you to show me. Miss Minchin keeps a globe in the schoolroom. I was hoping that you could show me where in France you were born. Ah, if it please you, mademoiselle. I do not think it will make an impact. I do not think it will make such impact for you, though. The distance between one city and another compared to the world, it is not so much.
Dutifully, she turned the globe to bring France into view.
Somewhere near here, I believe, would be Limoges.
Sarah followed Mariette's finger, then smiled to herself.
You were right. It does not tell me anything more than I already knew. Could you show me where you lived in India? Here, I think, or somewhere nearby. It's hard to be sure, but this is where the ship took us.
Sarah tilted her head and considered Mariette curiously.
You are very different from an Indian servant. My ayah was always kind to me, but she would never tell me if I were doing something wrong or making a mistake. Even if I asked for her opinion, she would always say that I was right. It was very confusing sometimes, until I learned to ask my papa when I needed to know something. Your papa wrote of you that you are a clever and curious child, who is eager to learn, and who would appreciate having the reasons explained to you.
Reasonable.
Yeah, that is just so.
It was another sign of how much her papa had considered her needs and well-being, and it made Sarah feel warm to think it.
Every time Mariette speaks to me, it is a gift from my papa. I do miss my ayah sometimes, and the other servants from our home. They were always a part of my life, even the ones that worked directly for my papa and did not speak to me. They were familiar. I wish that I could see them again. All of my life, I suppose my life hasn't really been that long, has it? But for all my life, I always knew that I would have to go away, like other children did. The climate of India is very bad for British children, so we must return to England and go to school. That is what everyone says. I wonder, is the climate of England very bad for Indian children also? Perhaps that is why none of them traveled with us here.
Well, no, the heat would not be so intense.
Yeah, no, that's just a racism. Perhaps that is so. If, as you say, the climate is very different, then it could be very difficult to adjust. However, mademoiselle, it is also very possible that they do not wish to travel so far from the homes and families that they love. Oh, yes. I didn't think of that. I would not wish to leave either, if I had the choice. I would rather be at home with my papa. It is very difficult to leave behind all that you have known and travel to a foreign land.
Hmm.
But this is a foreign land to you. Wasn't it difficult to leave your family and your home in France?
Mariette's smile was enigmatic.
Who can say? Perhaps it is for the best, in the best of all possible worlds.
Perhaps. Well then.
Stay together now, girls. Keep in line and don't step in any puddles. Just because church is over is no excuse to soil your nice dresses. The air smells very different when it has rained. It still smells like London. There are too many people and chimneys and horses. I keep lavender sachets in my room so that I can smell the gardens, even when I'm away from home. They're not much. My Aunt Eliza sent them the flowers. I stitched them myself. We have lavender in India too. Oh, but isn't lavender an English flower? I thought everything in India would be saffron and spices. Perhaps the British soldiers brought lavender with them so they could smell the gardens too. Do you think that soldiers could be homesick? Of course. Soldiers must be very brave and bear all sorts of dangers and hardships, but that doesn't mean they don't have feelings. And we must be brave too, even when we are far from the homes and the people that we love.
Who goes there? Ah, I see who it is. Hey there.
What's happening?
Certain eight-legged jackass needs to unmute himself.
Oh, I didn't hear that because Discord has me on streamer mode. Yeah, no, he's still muted. That is weird.
Hmm.
Well, fine.
Okay.
I didn't want to interrupt the stream, but if I'm gonna interrupt the stream anyway.
Yes, we will. Yes.
I say who goes there.
Welcome to this.
Over.
Yeah, what is this?
So we finished off-peak. Apparently there was only a tiny bit left, so we finished it like in 15 minutes tops. This is just a visual novel that Kuro has where you are a young British girl who... Little Lily Princess? They're kids.
A carriage passed alongside Miss Minchin's students as they walked, seemingly packed to the walls with children. 8 of them, siblings all, and such a giggling mass of blonde curls and rosy cheeks as Sarah had never seen before.
Stop shouting.
I'm not shouting.
You're shouting!
Their merriment was infectious, and Sarah found that a smile had come unexpectedly to her face, if Kuro would wish to explain that too.
Sorry, your mother and I are having a discussion. What's up with you?
Oh, it was good. As such, it came as a slight shock when the carriage moved along and revealed a sight previously hidden on the other side of the street. A little beggar child in a heap of rags, too dirty for Sarah to tell if it was a boy or a girl or anything in between. Pricked by the sight, Sarah stepped out of line and carried her little coin purse to the child.
Sarah, wait, where are you going? Here is a 6pence. Go and buy yourself something warm.
Will the child be singing a song?
Who will buy this beautiful morning?
She hurried back into formation, but not before her steps were noticed by Miss Bitchkin.
Sarah Crew, you must stay in line. If you go rushing off, you will put yourself at risk. I should not like to tell your father that you were struck down by a cab horse in the road. I only wish to... Generosity is a virtue, but it is not wise or safe to come in close contact with creatures of the streets.
Oh,
Must be careful to clean yourself thoroughly when we return to the school.
now that's incredibly wrong.
Yeah, some of the values from the Victorian age did not age well.
One of them that did age well, corsets. A
No,
value I
this
think we can all get behind.
this character is so unsympathetic that I just can't find anything about her attractive.
As I asked in the very beginning, who is the true spoiled child? And whether child or adult be damned, the point is the same.
It's true.
Sarah looked back, but the beggar child had already disappeared from sight.
Who?
How strange that one child should be hungry and dirty on the streets, while another rides in a fine carriage and knows nothing but joy and laughter. And all of these things happen quite by accident because of the way that we are born.
So we need to build further knowledge.
Yeah, we're so dumb.
And we need that knowledge to chase your beloved redhead.
Beloved
Girls
is
go
a
to
strong
college
word. I haven't found
to get more
that much to
knowledge.
like about her yet.
Hmm.
I'm still gonna do the other patience things, because I wouldn't mind having that higher as well.
Indeed.
Wake me up when you start building the chibi character. I was not expecting that. Wake me up when you
Chibi's-
start constructing the guillotine, and I will come back. But
Yeah,
you
no,
already
this
can be-
is... I'm not grabbed.
But Chibi's not here right now.
Yeah, right? Wow, we are just incapable of gaining patience more than one at a time, huh?
We must be patient with our patients.
That is some good looter narrative. Anyway, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, get
Good
out
luck
of here.
with the revolution.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Don't die horribly repeatedly, because that's what I think of when I see this.
Yeah, you think it's Long Live the Queen.
Yep, what a great fucking game.
It is very good.
That one was fun.
Alright, ta-ta for now.
Ciao.
Tatas. Even from a distance, there was...
Ta-tas.
Even from a distance, there was no mistaking Silver's penchant for interruption. Or Lottie's shrill voice, for that matter.
I want to hold the kitty! Don't be ridiculous.
Sarah came into the room to find Lavinia perched primly in a window seat, looking down at the smaller child whose lip was beginning to wobble.
Tybalt is in my lap, and he is perfectly content there. Listen, you can hear him purr. That is because I am stroking him, and he likes me. I want to hold the kitty! Keep your sticky little fingers away from his fur.
Lottie's brow furrowed in fierce determination. Ignoring Lavinia's commands, she reached out to pick up the cat. Lavinia slapped Lottie's hand away.
Oh my lord. No, come back!
The sudden movement jostled Tybalt out of his comfortable doze. With a parting squeeze of his claws, he leapt from Lavinia's legs and hurried out of the room.
Oh, look what you've done, you little brat! He scratched me! And if he damaged my dress... It scratched you because you're mean. You wouldn't even let me touch it. It isn't fair. It isn't!
Oh, from the lips of babes.
A cat is not a rag doll. You cannot snatch and tug it as you please, or it will bite your hand. Is that too difficult for a child of 8 to understand? She cannot help being younger any more than we can help being older. If she is 8, she is 8, but she will be 9 the next year, and 10 the year after that, and in 12 years she will be 20, and isn't that quite grand? Dear me, how we can calculate. I don't want to be 20.
Believe me, I didn't either.
20 was okay. 20th birthday was stressful, but 20 itself was fine. You will be when you are, and you won't be while you aren't, and so there's no reason to want or not want. No! No, no! Be quiet or I shall slap your face. You mustn't!
Lottie looked into Lavinia's blazing eyes, then ran from the room, wailing at the unfairness of it all.
Mood.
Hmm.
You ought not to baby her, Sarah. She must learn that she can't have everything her own way.
Privately, Sarah thought that Lottie was not the only student at the school who might need to learn that lesson. Indeed.
Some adults, too.
Well, we have free reign with either of the previously indicated path choices.
I guess let's go back to Jessie.
Okay.
Unless you're bored.
Oh no, not at all.
Sarah, I was wondering, what do you do when you're at tea with Miss Minchin and those people? Does she have you recite a party piece or dance or pose? Are the men present? Not commonly, and only if their wives are in attendance. I do not think so many men would care for tea with a schoolmistress. I have never been asked to dance or recite. Sometimes she asks me about my lessons, and if I like the classes and the other pupils, which I always say that I do. Sometimes they ask me about books that I have read, which I don't mind. And then Miss Minchin says how clever I am, which makes me uncomfortable.
Star student pressure.
Often Miss Minchin wishes me to converse in French with a lady. They are not usually French women themselves, but they see the language as a charming accomplishment.
All of a sudden, Jessie's tone sharpened.
Do they actually converse with you as a person, or only as Miss Minchin's pretty toy? Do they ever call on you instead of Miss Minchin? Do you ever see them again?
Sarah blinked rapidly.
I don't understand. Doesn't it make you angry, being used like a trinket for Miss Minchin to display? There does not seem to be any reason for me to be angry.
That's because she doesn't get it.
Having tea with visitors is not such a difficult thing. It is like a kind of performance, with attention instead of applause. A performance. I never thought that tea and books and French could be like being on the stage.
Sure. To a point. Jessie spun in place, letting her skirt catch the air, then sank in a formal curtsy. It was a beautiful position, with her back perfectly straight and the fabric of her dress spread neatly about her.
Oui, oui, merci, madame. Please, pour again. Not quite like that.
Jessie straightened, patting her skirts down to ensure that every ruffle was in place.
Oh la la. Will you speak
La
French to
la.
me, Sarah? I hardly know what to say when you ask it like that. Say something pleasant. Say that it's a beautiful day, or that your breakfast was delicious, or that I'm clever and charming. Vous êtes une jeune fille charmante, mais je ne vous comprends pas toujours.
Nice. Jessie smiled.
I
Sorry.
believe what that meant is you're a lovely young woman, but I don't understand you always.
Jessie smiled, although Sarah was not sure if she had understood the entire phrase.
The language sounds much lovelier from your lips than from those of Monsieur Dufarge. It always sounds beautiful to me.
Omelette du fromage.
Yeah, right. It reminds me of my mother. Did you... Jessie, where are you? Oh, I have to go. God, my British accent is all over the place. Any actual British person would have wrung my neck by now. I think I have given them every of the 17 accents that I know about. The only one I think I haven't done yet is Northern Welsh and Yorkshire, but pretty much everything else I've covered. Christ.
I prefer the pudding. And she hurried off to answer her best friend's summons.
Would you like to sit in front of the mirror while I brush your hair, mademoiselle? Oh, I don't think so. Not by the mirror. You see, it is nice to sit and think while you run the brush through my hair. Sometimes I remember stories or think of things I want to say to someone else. Other times it helps me relax. It must be like that for Tybalt when someone is petting him. But if I were looking into the mirror, then the Sarah in the mirror would be looking back at me, and we should have to pay attention to each other, or else we might be thought impolite.
Mariette laughed in the back of her throat.
That is as you wish. I had thought of doing something different with your hair, and if you could see, then you would know more quickly if you thought yes or no, and I could change it if you did not like it. Well, I think that it's better to look at it when it's finished. If you stop reading a book in the middle, you might have all the wrong idea of what it's about. Then I will show you when I am done. Mariette is so kind. I would be terribly lonely in these rooms without her. The school is full of older girls, but they're, like me, guests of Miss Minchin. We live in the same house, but they are not part of my household. Mariette is the only person who belongs to me. Yes. I am choosing to interpret it in the, like, little kid way of, like, someone I love who won't leave me, you know?
Mm.
It is nice to sit and think while she brushes my hair. She has a better way with it than my old Aya did, but I do miss my papa so. If he were here, if he were coming to visit me as some girls' parents do, how happy my life would be. I wonder where my papa is now. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak. No, it is good, mademoiselle. You should speak your thoughts. Your father sailed many weeks ago. Right now he is in India, yes? Home and safe, and thinking about how different the house seems without your footsteps. Oh, I don't want to think of him sad and lonely. It is right that he misses you, and that you miss him. That is how things should be. But that does not mean your life is nothing but sadness, does it? No, I do not think I am melancholy. I would not wish to be. I enjoy my books and my friends. So you see, your papa, he will be lonely, but he will also feel other things. He will live his life, but he will also think of you. I believe you will hear from him soon. Oh, I hope you're right. No, you must be right. My papa will write me letters, as soon as the ships can carry them, and I will treasure his words. And I do hope, that my papa has a friend to care for him, as Mariette cares for me.
So our grace and our knowledge took big hits on that last event. And our patience has eluded us pretty much the whole time thus far.
Yep.
And we don't know what we need for Jesse's next event, so I would maintain the strategy of building up the lower stats as best we can. We've done better, obviously, with knowledge and grace historically.
I'm sticking with this. Book,
Okay.
dance, diary, walk.
Okay.
We got a book.
Mm.
We got a book.
Well, that'll answer our overflow question.
We got a patience and a grace.
Good.
I believe sympathy. Artistry. Yep.
Yeah, we will not be allowed more than 10 of any given stat at a time.
So we picked up 2 knowledge, 1 patience, and 1 grace, which does not thrill me.
Mm. While Sarah was walking through the school, she heard a great commotion coming from a nearby room. The first high-pitched shriek made her startle, concerned that one of the younger girls might have injured herself. Sarah was a quiet and solemn girl herself, and made no judgment against those whose temperaments led them to cry out loudly when they were in pain. However, the wailing went on and on, more angry than miserable, and the voice was recognizably Lottie's. Sarah came closer and began to make out the accompaniment of frustrated adult that had been drowned out by childish tantrum.
What are you crying for? There is nothing wrong with you. I haven't got any mama. Stop crying, for heaven's sake. I haven't got any mama. You ought to be whipped. You shall be whipped if you do not hush, you naughty child.
That's a little much. Lottie wailed more loudly than ever. Uh-oh. Miss Minchin emerged from the room, her hands pressed to the sides of her head, and paused when she saw Sarah lingering outside.
Oh, dear Sarah.
Miss Minchin's attempt at producing a friendly smile was not at all convincing. Lottie's roars continued unabated, and each burst of sound made Miss Minchin's shoulders twitch.
I stopped because I knew it was Lottie, and I thought perhaps I could make her be quiet. May I try, Miss Minchin? If you can quiet that, you are a clever child. Dreadful thing. We may not be able to keep her. But you are clever in everything, my dear. I dare say you can manage her. Go in.
When Sarah entered the room, Lottie was lying upon the floor, screaming and kicking her small, fat legs violently. Sarah stood by the howling, furious child for a few moments and looked down at her without saying anything. Then she sat down flat on the floor beside her and waited. Except for Lottie's angry screams, the room was quite quiet. This was a new state of affairs for Lottie, who was accustomed to hearing other people protest and implore and command and coax her by turns. To find that the only person near her did not seem to mind in the least how she kicked and screamed was unusual, and made it necessary for her to pause her sobbing in order to see what was going on. She opened her tight-shut, streaming eyes to see who this person was, and found that it was only another little girl. But it was the one who owned Emily and all the nice things. Sarah looked at Lottie quite curiously, but said nothing. Lottie sucked in a gulp of air, but the noise she made sounded rather half.
I haven't any mama. Neither have I.
Lottie blinked rapidly at this unexpected answer. Her legs and arms ceased their kicking and lay flat against the floor.
Where is your mama? She went to heaven, but I'm sure she comes out sometimes to see me, though I don't see her. So does yours. Perhaps they can both see us now. Perhaps they are both in this room. Here?
Lottie sat bolt upright and looked around. Seeing nothing, her face began to scrunch up again.
We can't see the people who live in heaven, even when they come to visit us. They travel like wind or sunlight. You can only feel them for a moment if they touch you, and then they're gone. They can go anywhere in an instant, but most of the time they stay up above. Their land is full of lilies, fields and fields of lilies, and when the soft wind blows over them, it wafts the scent of them into the air. And everybody always breathes it, because that soft wind is blowing. Wind and sunlight, and the streets are always shining. And little children run about in the lily fields and gather armfuls of them, and laugh and make little wreaths to wear on their heads, or spin cloaks and dresses of soft lily petals. The petals never go dry or brown. When the children grow tired of them, they toss the petals into the air and they turn into clouds.
Lottie had by now quite forgotten to cry, and was leaning forward, hanging on every word that Sarah spoke.
The face that they're using for Lottie,
Yes, I say.
In that shining city, people are never tired, however far they walk. They can float anywhere they like. And there are walls made of pearl and gold all round the city, but they are low enough for the people to go and lean on them, look down onto the earth and smile. From those walls, sometimes they dance down to visit us. Other times they whisper beautiful messages into the wind and hope someday that we will hear them. Oh, I want to go there. I haven't any mama here.
Sarah saw the danger signal and took hold of Lottie's hand with a coaxing little laugh.
I will be your mama in this school. We will play that you are my little girl, and Emily shall be your sister. Shall she? Yes, let us go and tell her. And then I will wash your face and brush your hair, and both of us shall have a little bit more family.
That
was
is
a little
very,
sweet.
Yeah. That was one very specific interpretation of heaven.
Yeah, Well, I imagine they're all fairly specific to the person who's interpreting them. That's the
Hmm.
thing about the unknowable.
Well,
But
looking at
yeah,
the
it is
clock,
a fairly
Yeah.
childlike explanation.
Looking at the clock, I'd say we have time for one more event.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like this is particularly hooking you, so.
It's not. I prefer
Well,
my
we can
dating
just-
sims a little older.
Well, we can discuss another option when we go offline here.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the point and click that I've been thinking about.
Mhm.
Full disclosure, the last time I tried to play it was with a girlfriend. And even though it was new to her, I had already played it, and even though it was many years ago, I just wasn't as into it as I was the first time. So I don't know. Now that was another like 6-7 years ago. But I don't know if I have the commitment for something that might not grab my attention span and is so plot heavy. And also very long.
Yeah, I can see that.
Not that we have an audience, but if we had one, I wouldn't want to disappoint them by starting something and not finishing it.
I mean, I had that one time not too long ago when I was teaching a younger child how to play Carmen Sandiego. I'm finding it doesn't hold as much excitement for me as it did then.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great game for the audience it's shooting for and for the thing that it teaches.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Longest Journey is a phenomenal game, but like, I know all the twists.
Right. There comes a point where not even teaching gives you very much enrichment.
Yeah.
That's not all games, though, fortunately, because I have a lot of teaching to do for a little baby that I'm watching grow up too.
That's right. Very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna click on Marriott and then see how to get out of the game.
Okay.
Oh.
Sarah lay on her bed, resting her cheek against the cool fabric of the pillow. The light of the mid-morning sun gleamed where it touched the surfaces in her room, gilding them with a fairy's brush.
Perhaps if I lay still long enough, I will catch sight of a fairy coming to visit me.
The next face she saw was not that of a visiting fairy.
Did you try to catch your dreams, mademoiselle? I can leave you to sleep. I have tried in the past to go back into the same dream, but it never seems to work.
No.
Yeah. Or if it does work, I can't remember it. You don't always remember in dreams.
Yep. She shifted position, curling onto her side.
I just don't feel like getting up today. I'm sorry.
That yawn was perfect.
Yeah, right? Let me see.
She laid her dark hand against Sarah's forehead. Did that need to be said? Anyway.
I think it's okay, because it's true. It depends on where they go from here. If they suddenly, like, highlight more of, like, difference, then maybe it's a little unnecessary. But if it's statement of fact, I think that's alright. You may be a little warm, I cannot tell. Does your throat hurt? No, I'm only tired. It is better to prevent than to heal. I will fetch you some porridge and salt water.
She bustled out of the room, leaving Sarah to contemplate in silence.
I do hope that I am not ill. It would be most unpleasant. I do not quite feel ill. As long as I think nice thoughts and I don't feel ill, then I'm not ill, I think.
Many young people would have difficulty remaining in their beds all day unless they were too ill to do otherwise. It was easier for Sarah, who enjoyed spinning fancies in her mind. I mean, I can't really argue against that. I did not like napping as a child. Boy, was I mistaken.
Yeah, right. It turns out it's great. I do not truly need to leave my bed in order to play out stories. In fact, with Mariette to bring me food, I might never need to leave these rooms at all. Like a princess bricked up in a tall tower, the prisoner of a wicked regent who means for her to be forgotten so that he can steal the kingdom in her place.
I mean, I think we could have left it at just staying in the room all day.
Yeah, I don't need this part. I had the same fantasy as her up until this.
Yeah.
She would be diligent at her studies, even within her tiny bedroom, so that one day when she was rescued or escaped, she'd be ready to take back her rightful lands.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your noose. That was a diverting fantasy, but it led Sarah to a more practical curiosity. There was, after all, someone close to her who did spend most of her days within these rooms. When Mariette returned with her tray of tonics, Sarah asked,
Mariette, what do you do during the days while I am away? Since she is my maid and not Miss Minchin's, she should not be made to do other work, but she is always here when I need her, so she must not go anywhere else. Oh, many things.
She set the tray down.
I look over your wardrobe and check for anything that might need mending. I do a bit of embroidery on my own. And I do read your books. That is how you wished it, yes? I did not think to ask each time that I... Oh no, I am glad someone else reads them. I have many books, and some of them I only read once, and I worry that they might feel neglected.
Sarah looked around the room at all of her pretty things, the gifts from her papa. They were all precious to her, but...
If you wish to, it is all right if you play with my toys while I am in classes. I know I can trust you not to break them. Please make sure to leave Emily a little bit of private time when no one is watching her so she can sleep and relax.
If Mariette wished to laugh, she was too polite to do so.
Merci, mademoiselle. Now sit up, if you please, and have a bit of breakfast. If you are too weak, then I shall have to spoon the porridge into you myself. I'm well, I'm wonderfully well.
She laughed, for it was true. She did feel better.
Oh, she just has depression. Okay. Wow, why would you want 15 games of this?
15?
That's not a W.
Aw.
Alright, I'm done with this.
I was gonna say, did we even need to bother saving it? Do we wish to proceed with this?
Not really, but it's the right thing to do.
I mean, I guess.
It's polite.
Fair. Well, if you wish to take a rest from presenting for a little bit, I do have a little DOS-based, somewhat text-based math puzzler that I found pretty interesting, called Fred's Backyard. I've gone far enough into it that I know there's at least one math puzzle and one logic puzzle. I didn't want to spoil the whole thing for myself.
Okay.
If you're interested in...
Yeah, let's give it a try. I
Cool.
would like a little break from presenting.
All right.
And this way we can keep hashing out what we want our next move to be.
Sounds good. In that case, I shall take over. And for those of you who watched the Wednesday night show with me and Kuro, I am also taking over there for a little bit.
Yeah, what are you
As
guys playing? She couldn't remember the name off the top of her head.
It is called Eric the Unready. And the basic premise is set in medieval times. The titular character is a knight who, as you might guess by the name, is not particularly competent.
It sounds familiar. Is this based off another property?
It may be. I never really looked into
The
that.
Unready sounds familiar to me.
Can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Okay.
Maybe something will rise from there. But yeah, the game follows his misadventures. There are plenty of tongue-in-cheek jibes. There's plenty of good references in there.
Cool.
And the one thing I will give up for the sake of interest is during the first scene, he will quite literally eat shit.
Oh no.
Yep.
Like just fall face first or actually ingest?
Something along that line. It'll wind up in his mouth. Yeah, that's all you people are getting until Wednesday.
Well, you hate to see it.
Well, the Wednesday after next, as I will not be available this coming Wednesday.
Right. But
yes.
this coming Thursday, you and I are gonna try your logic game, and
Yes, Fred's backyard. I
All
didn't
right.
pay much attention to what the premise was. I was just function testing it to make sure it would work.
Okay.
And it seems to.
Cool.
Well, thanks for coming, folks.
Yeah. Same bat time, same bat channel, I guess.
Other Bat channel.
That's right. It will be on twitch.tv/AlphaStarDX.
Yep.
And with that, I'm going to press the button and we will end. I wish everyone a fond good night. And remember, as our most recent text game encouraged us all, stay masculine.
Stay masculine.